Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
How you guys doing? So today's video is one that I've been wanting to do for a while now. This is kind of part in the whole, kind of different metas and teams where we're kind of learning all of it, and it's really important now for me to produce the end kind of thing of what you should be using this versus. I haven't done one of these in the past. All I've been showing you guys for my videos is different comps that work, and what now we're going to do is show you it as like a whole different kind of guide and in specific counters what you should be looking at. We're going to chat about really 4 different kind of variations of teams here for the Padme, and then we're going to actually chat about different difficulties of the teams that you might be fighting here. But this is going to start off by me saying that this whole counter is still kind of RNG dependent. Yes, you can really bump up your mods and make it almost, work every single time. But even then, you can still fight some guys that can really screw you guys up, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But the team here that we're chatting about is one with Padme lead, Anakin, General Kenobi, and then 3PO, and also some of these guys. You got, Ahsoka, you got R2 here, and you got Yoda, and you got Shaak Ti. So these are really good ones here. I'm not going to chat about the clones because I feel like the clones should be, by themselves. And we're not going to really talk too much about... I'll talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to chat too much about it, though. Teams that aren't with really 3PO, they're not going to be mentioned as much because I really, really feel that 3PO should be included in almost any counter to a Darth Rep and Malak team. Just period. That's end of story, like almost always. So let's start this off by going over the different difficulties of teams you might be fighting in your TWs, GAs, and even Arena. So we're going to chat about the easy ones first. This is a very standard Trooper team. Has Malak in it, has Trooper, does not have Marauder. These ones, you can actually see, and you can see here that this little chart I made, you can actually use Ahsoka in this team. It works pretty dang well, and I've done other videos about how to split up your Padme team. If the enemy you are fighting in JC has no Marauder, but he does have Trooper, you probably want to save your Ahsoka, and then you can actually save these other guys down here for different teams. So that's a really good and easy counter there. I've done multiple videos on that. That's like one of the most standard and straightforward counters out there. And then these 3 bunches here, these can beat every single variation. And they're really important. We'll get onto that a little bit later. So this first difficulty is the easy. This one is just with Troopers, nothing crazy about it, no Marauders, no Thrawns, nothing like that. On to the next one is medium difficulty here. This one does include Thrawn, and we're actually going to chat about the Brute Alpha counter because I've been seeing a load of these in my arenas recently. So this is a medium counter. It's not hard because there are ways to get around it. Again, I do find that 3PO is very, very important with his confuses and most importantly his intermediary unique that gives out more protection up buffs for each non-unique non-protection up buff. So that is really why I like 3PO in all these teams. But again, you can kind of pull off some of these medium to easy ones without 3PO, but making it, or if you want to make it easier on yourself and not have to risk all these, people dying on you, you can really just be safe and run 3PO. So that's a medium difficulty. You got like a Thrawn in there. Let's say there's a Trooper and a Thrawn with a Malak. Maybe there's no Trooper. Maybe there's just Thrawn and Malak. That's pretty a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than the Trooper ones. And then same goes along here with the GPA. This one might be kind of on the hard, maybe almost hard kind of difficulty. I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult. I think it is pretty dang hard. But if you know what you're doing, you can almost win every single time. So in this one, again, you in the medium difficulty category, you do not want to use some of these guys. Like Ahsoka is pretty good versus like the GBA for her extra, her dispels. But if you want to just play it safe, I mean, you got Shaak Ti with a dispel, you got Yoda with stuns, more buffs, and you got R2 with even more buffs and a stun. So I mean, yeah, you could probably run Ahsoka in some of these, but when we get down to the hards, Ahsoka is not going to be wanting to be in there whatsoever at all. So yes, for medium, let's just wrap it up here for medium. You can run pretty much any of these guys still, but with Ahsoka, it can make it a little bit tougher. So if you want to make it easier on yourself, just use these 3 here. The R2 as a 5th, you know, either Yoda as a 5th or Shaak Ti as a 5th. So there you guys have it for that. And then on to hard right here. This is like ones that you see these and you're like, oh crap. I am going to struggle versus this 100%. What am I going to do here? These are still some that I struggle with myself. I would say that versus Marauder ones without Trooper, I win around 70 to 80% of. Maybe higher if I got like all my mods and all that sort of stuff figured out. But these ones here, Malak being fastest meaning he's faster than your entire team and he's faster than his entire team. So he's going first out of everybody on the field. And that's no good because that forces a GK taunt and then all the buffs hit on him and not everybody else. So he's getting all the hits instead of everybody else not. And you're losing a lot of courage stacks and you get like a little bit lag behind with all your efficiency. So that's not good at all. Same kind of goes here with the slow Malak, and the slow Malak meaning he is going after your Padme cleanse, which is not good either, because if that happens, he's going to dispel the buffs off of GK, he gets a shock, and then later on Ahsoka will do her AoE shock, and she has a chance of killing somebody. So that's not good either, and this is why this category here, with the Padme team with 3PO in it, in one of these 3, I've done videos on a lot of these 3, and this one by far with R2 is by far, in my opinion, the most consistent in winning versus this hard category of teams. Like I said before, I still kind of struggle versus the fast ones and especially the slow ones. But in GAs, I hardly ever see the slow ones and I rarely see the fast ones. I see a lot of these ones with Marauder with no Trooper. Again, this is ones without Trooper. If Trooper was in the hard category with one of these guys, I would probably go with Ahsoka because Ahsoka is very nice for the extra dispels on the Trooper. So guys, this is kind of what I would like to show you guys for today. And we'll kind of wrap it up with some different battles and, you know, just different kind of variations of teams like we went over here. Alright, so this is the 4 different teams I'm going to show you guys for today. First one I'm going to show you guys is a very standard Ahsoka plus 3PO team versus a easy team that we were mentioning with just Trooper, nothing crazy in Malak. And that's what we're going to start off today here. Let's go show you guys some of those. Alright, so I'm not going to show you guys the entirety of these battles. I just want to show you the teams I'm talking about. So this is an easy battle. This is an easy part of the 3, the easy, medium, difficult, and the hard ones. This is the easy version of the team, and we're using Ahsoka in here for the extra dispels and making sure that you can get around the taunt, and then later on you can do some nice hits on the other guys like Bastila Shan and HK, all those type of people. So this is the one I'm talking about when I'm saying easy, and this is the team with 3PO and Ahsoka in it, and this is one I like to use in GAs. If the guy does not have Marauder and he has only a Trooper, I would definitely run this team in GAs. Okay, next up is the GMY with 3PO. This is more towards the hard, and it's really more towards kind of the medium as well. I mean, you can also use this versus the easy ones, but if you're going to run versus an easy team, just run Ahsoka. It's going to be a lot easier on yourself. Being able to just get through the taunts easier, it's really nice. So now we're going to show you guys a GMY battle and which ones I'm chatting about there. Alright, so this is the GMY one. I did a video a while back on this, but this one, this is a good one as well. This was with just a normal HK in there, or not HK, what's the name, Trooper in there. So this is more for your easy and medium and even hard difficulties. Versus the hard ones, like I said though, you really want to go for the R2 in there if you can, because it's just gonna be very, very consistent for you and make it a lot easier on yourself. Okay, next up is going to be the Shaak Ti with 3PO, and this one, like we were mentioning, this kind of beats a lot of them as well. Shaak Ti is very versatile because she can dispel on her basic and give out a lot of buffs, so she's kind of like Ahsoka and GMY kind of mixed into one here. So she can also work versus different various teams here, and we'll show you a little snippet of a battle with her in it. So this one is one with a Marauder and an HK in it, or not HK, with Trooper. I get those guys mixed up all the freaking time. This one is with Marauder in it. As you can see here, we're running a slower modded one, so it's a little bit easier for you guys to kind of see what's happening here. But this one works pretty well. We can see here she can dispel on basics, so again, you can kind of get around the Trooper taunt and then focus on other people. This is a very solid counter, And if you guys don't have very good clones, but you have really good Shock T, this is a great use for her. And if you even have like kind of the opposite, if you don't really have, or if you do really have great clones and you have an okay Shock T, you can still run this and run some good clones as well. I mean, there's a lot of different variations with the whole GR faction. But this is a solid team here. I like to use this one. And there you guys have it for this one. And to wrap it up, we're going to chat about the R2 with 3PO. This is the most consistent one I've ever done videos on and tests in my experience with it. It's really consistent. It's a lot of efficiency here as well. I mean, you just get the ball rolling and you're just looking really good for setting yourself up for success in here. So let's go show you guys some of these as well. So this is versus, in this one, just kind of a little bit tougher of a team, but again, it still has Trooper. But guys, it still works if there is a no Trooper and there is like an HK or something in there. So this one, why is it so consistent, you might ask? I've done other videos on it, but if you haven't seen those videos, pretty much why it's so inconsistent is there's a lot of synergy between R2 and everybody in the GR faction, giving out a lot of the extra stats, kind of like the potency, HP, and offense really does help out with Anakin and landing those healing immunities and stuff like that. On top of that, with the translation stacks, you get even more potency for R2, which later on, when Malak is the last one alive, you can really land those stuns on his basic. And especially with the smokescreen and the burning, it really does help out trying to manage their team and kind of put them in their place and kind of just manage them and control them very well. So by far, this team right here has got to be the most efficient and most consistent team in beating these Malak teams that you guys will see in your arenas, in your GACs, your TWs, all that sort of stuff. This team is amazing, guys. So just to wrap up this video, you have 3 different difficulties of your teams that you might be facing in your different various parts of the game. You got an easy difficulty with just Trooper, nobody else, no Thrawn, no GBA, no Marauder, and no fast/slow Malaks. And then on top of that, you got medium. This one has your Thrawns, and this one also has your Geonosian Brute Alphas as well. And then later on, you have these hard ones. And these hard ones, like I said, I still struggle with them sometimes as well. I have very good win rates versus just the Marauder teams, but once the Malak is fastest, I have some problems, and when he's slower, I have some problems as well. So this kind of is a good little list I would like for you guys to kind of hold on to and kind of look back when you are thinking of your strategy in your GAC, or maybe you just kind of want to see what it looks like for maybe if you want to possibly use these guys in your arenas and stuff like that. So again, this is kind of how it is for now. With the whole addition to the clones and maybe the 501st being the meta next, this should be a really solid Darth Revan Malak counter for the time being. And if this team doesn't take away, or if the next meta team rather with the clones doesn't take away from any of these guys, you can still use these guys as a counter to the Malaks, which is going to be great. And then you can use the other meta team on defense or something like that. So again, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, guys, please leave me a like. And if you guys are new here, feel free to give me a sub, share it around. It really does help out the channel grow. And we got Discord and Patreon link if you guys want to go check out those 2 things. Hopefully you guys, again, like this video. Hopefully you guys learn a little bit from this, and hopefully with how it's all set up, it's not as ghetto as I hoped it wouldn't be, but hopefully it was pretty solid information for you guys. So that's it for me today, guys. Have a good one out there, and I'll see you later.